I want to share with you a communication tool that has radically transformed my life and my relationships and the way that I'm able to show up and hold space for others, as well as fully communicate my internal world to others so that they don't feel like they need to just assume or know what I'm feeling automatically. And it has been so powerful and so transformative, especially with intimate relationships, friendships, the relationships that I have with my parents, and I want to share it with you. So I first heard about this communication tool in a book called Nonviolent Communication, which is by far one of the best books I've ever read. I feel like everyone will get so much from it if they choose to listen to it. You don't need to, obviously. And yeah, what I took from it is FFNR, and that stands for fact, feeling, need, and request. So using that formula or that structure as a way to communicate what we're going through in the moment. And it may sound too simple, but I think an important part before doing that is creating a safe container, and understanding with the other person whom which you're communicating with, of undisturbed conversation or communication until you feel complete. So my partner and I will often have these kind of conversations, and we will create the container first. We'll set some intentions. We'll sit down together undistracted by anything else, which is a really important part of the process, I feel. And do a couple of deep breaths and check in with how we're feeling on the inside. And we'll express and share what we are going through, what we're currently experiencing, what we're feeling, where we're feeling it in the body. And the other person just is a benevolent listener. They are there to simply hold space, not communicate back at all, not feel the need to respond or to support verbally, just listening, deep listening, and allowing the person who is sharing to share until they feel complete. And at that point, they'll say, I feel complete, thank you for listening. And the other person will say, thank you for sharing. And that alone has been so pivotal and radically profound in my relationships. And then on top of that, FFNR is just as amazing. And so if there's some kind of conflict that arises for whatever reason, we'll create that container. And then when we're sharing, state the fact. And this is an actual fact that could be seen by outsiders. It isn't our perception of it. It isn't what we thought the other person was doing or thinking. This is purely the facts, the feeling, how it made you feel. And with this one, it's really important that you don't put the blame onto the other person. So there's certain feelings that are the deeper feelings, like anger, frustration, but anything that ends in ed, or sadness, maybe not even frustration, because frustration, it can be broken down again into like the deeper emotions. So rather than saying, I feel frustrated, because that ends in an ED, it's often putting the blame on the other person. Like saying, I'm pointing the finger at you, but we aren't remembering that there's three fingers pointing back at us, which is really important to become aware of, especially when having these conversations. And it's a beautiful awareness to come back into within yourself, and to be able to analyze and understand our true emotions better, and take responsibility for them, take radical ownership and responsibility for our emotions without judgment at the same time. Like, yes, that's what I'm experiencing, and isn't it so divine that I can be red with anger, that I can be mad, that I can be sad, that I can be full of joy, all of these things on the spectrum, and to welcome them all without judgment. So that's the feeling. And then the need. So what is it that you are needing in that time? Again, trying not to ask for anything of the other person, just purely stating your needs. And then FFNR, is the request. So this isn't a demand, and the other person has no expectation to actually do that. It's simply a request of something that would help you to feel more supported by the other person, or maybe it's I'm requesting a little bit of extra space, or time in my creativity, a little bit more understanding from the other person, or maybe even I'm requesting that we come back to these check-ins more often, because that can be really powerful as well. So that was a lot longer than I thought, but I wanted to share that with you in case it's something that you want to implement or integrate into your own relationships, and conversations and communication that you have in your life. Even just the way that you communicate with yourself, like that's a really powerful tool to just check in with yourself and see what you are feeling, see what the facts are, and make the discernment between what the fact and the perception is. And then also the feeling, what are you truly feeling, and how deep can you go with that? Can you get down to the rawest emotion? The need, what is it that you're actually needing in that moment? And the request, a request to yourself even. I'm requesting myself to wake up earlier so that I can remember how good it feels to be alive and awake in the morning before everyone else is awake. Or I'm requesting extra time in bed in the morning just for myself. It can be absolutely anything. I'm requesting a bubble bath. I'm requesting prioritizing hydration, or making a nourishing meal for myself tonight, because I know that that's what my body is needing. So the need comes before the request. Okay, that's all. I love you. Have a good day.